Well, hello, Rockhounds, Lapidary lovers. Mike here. Welcome back to my channel. What do we got going on today? Well, today we are going to start a long-term project. We are going to tumble some rocks, and I'm going to show you pretty much every stage in the process. These are some rocks that were sent to me by a lady named Cheryl, who goes also by Soul Adventurist on her YouTube channel. And I had a contest a while back and gave away a bunch of tumbled rocks, and Cheryl won the contest. So I sent her the rocks, and she immediately sent me back a bunch of other rocks. And I'm like, whoa, that's very nice of you, Cheryl. Thank you very much. And it's some really pretty banded Chert and other stuff. And when I did the unboxing video, I said, I'm going to tumble this stuff. Hey, leave a comment and let me know if you want to see every step in the process or just the finished product. And a lot of people said they wanted to see every step in the process. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to tumble this rock that Cheryl sent me, and I'm going to show you pretty much every step in the process. So what did Cheryl send me? Well, I'll insert an excerpt from the unboxing video I did here that explains what I got from Cheryl. So yeah, once I can get these in the tumbler, I'm going to try and do them as a batch, I think. And we'll see how they come out in the end. And I'll bet it's going to be really, really pretty. And just thanks a lot, Cheryl. I can't thank you enough for sending me this stuff. And I just can't wait to see what it looks like when it's done. I think some of this stuff's just going to be absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, some of this banded Chert, lace agate. We'll see about the red tiger's eye. See how it turns out. So thanks again, Cheryl. So step one is I need to get this stuff into a tumbler with some 60 grit silicon carbide and set it tumbling, probably for at least a few weeks to get these all rounded out the way I want them. So let me get that done, and we'll get it started spinning, because this is going to be a long-term project, so I might as well get it started. So here we are over at my tumbling station. I have a variety of different tumblers. I got a couple small ones up front here. I got a really big high-capacity rock tumbler in the back there that I built myself. I have a video on how I built that. I'll put a link in the upper right if you're interested in checking that out. But let's get Cheryl's rocks spinning. I've got them in a drum with some 60 grit silicon carbide and water. So we're just going to let this go. I'll check them about every week and see how they're doing. Now, the way I tumble rocks is I don't leave them in for a given period of time and then move them on. I look at each and every rock and decide whether it's worthy of moving on to the next step or if it has to go back in for more rough tumbling. So what I'll do is I'll pull out the rocks every week that look like they're ready and set them aside. And I'll put extra rocks in that I have from other projects just to keep the tumbler full. So we've got good tumbling action going in there. And it could take a while before all of Cheryl's rocks are done. Some of them are going to be more rounded than others right out of the box. Some of them are going to be harder than others. Some of them are more angular. So some are going to be rounded off in a week or two, and some are going to take a month or longer, I'm sure. So that's how I do things. So this is why I'm calling it a long-term project, because I know that this could take quite a while just in rough, and then we're looking at a couple of weeks probably in every grip beyond rough. So yeah, this is going to be a long-term project, but I think when we're done, we're going to have some really pretty tumbled banded Chert and other stuff to have a look at. So I'll give you a look at it when it's done, but I'm also going to show you a lot of the steps along the way. So we'll have a look at these again when they are finally all tumbled to my satisfaction. All right, so it took a long time. We're talking months here. But all of the rocks I got from Cheryl have now been through rough grit. Pretty much to my satisfaction. I would say I have rushed a few of them, okay? I would say I've rushed a few of them. But I think they're going to turn out beautiful. I mean, some of these have just, have some minor imperfections and dings in them, but I don't know. Leaving them in rough longer may not help. I mean, this one here might just fall apart if I just leave it in rough forever. This one here, it's got some cracks and fractures in it. This one's got some dings. I don't want to make the rocks too small, so that they just tumble away to nothing in pursuit of perfection. This one here broke apart at some point, but I left it and the piece that broke off, which I'm not sure where it is here, one of these, in there until they were nice and round again. So I think they're ready to move on. Now I have to apologize a little bit here, Cheryl, because I think I may have mixed up some of your rocks with some of the others, because some of these were in rough for so long, I had to add other rocks to the mix to keep the tumbler full. Some rocks I think have gotten lost. Like I know there was a couple pieces of crazy lace, so I don't know where the other one is. And that's the same piece of red tiger eye that I started with, but I think there was no. I guess here's the Jasper. Okay, so I guess it's mostly here. I think we may have misplaced a rock or two along the way. Anyway, it's time to go to the finer grits. So let me get these into a tumbler, and we will start them tumbling in the finer grits. And to prevent them from getting further damaged, like the one that broke in half, we're going to add a bunch of media to this too to cushion the rocks. And the media will fill the gaps between the rocks so that the finer grit can do its thing a little easier. Media is very important. Got some media here, pre-used, but that's okay. Good for another use or two. A lot of the ceramic stuff's getting pretty small, but we'll keep using it. I'll probably have to add some more media before we get to polish because this is going to keep wearing down. Okay, let's put a little water in there. Inch or so below the top. You can just see it over at the edge. I don't know if you can see it, but that's about an inch or so below the top. Let me get some 220 grit. Put 5 big heaping teaspoonfuls of it in here. $2.20. Lid it up, and we'll get it spinning. Oh, I also need to put the date on it so I know how long it's been spinning. When you've got as many tumblers going as I do, it's easy to forget how long something's been on. And leave it too long or pull it off too early, one or the other. So I've got a China marker here, grease pencil. So we're going to go, it's in 220. And today is 7/5. It's the day after 4th of July. So let me get it on the tumbler and get it spinning. And we'll look at it in a couple weeks. And there we go. Cheryl's rocks, they are spinning. So let them go a week or two in 220, probably closer to 2 weeks, I would imagine. And then we'll move on to the finer grits. All right, Cheryl's rocks have been in 220 for a couple of weeks. I'm going to empty this out. We'll take a quick look at them. I'll give them the ultrasonic cleaning, and we will put them into pre-polish. I'm pretty sure they're ready to go there. So let me get that done. Wow, these are really starting to look good. Look at that. Look at that red tiger eye. Look at that. Wow, that's nice. Some of this banded Chert is just amazing. Actually, I think it's all pretty amazing. And this Jasper here. Yeah, here's some crazy lace agate. So yeah, there's some good stuff here. Good looking stuff. At least when it's wet. It's starting to really look good after stage 2. So let me get this in the ultrasonic cleaner, get any remaining stage 2 grit out of any nooks and crannies on it, and get it good cleaned up really well, and then we'll get it into stage 3, pre-polish, and let it go for a couple weeks in pre-polish, and I'll bet they'll look even better. Okay, let me get my ultrasonic cleaner out and get these in it. All right, got the rocks in my ultrasonic cleaner. Going to put a little bit of Dawn dishwashing soap in there, just a little bit, and we'll turn it on for about 45 minutes. Yeah, that's going to do a real good job of cleaning any remaining grit out of the nooks and crannies on these rocks. I see some little streamers of it coming off in places. Yeah, down there, over there. This water will be real cloudy after about 45 minutes. And that's all grit that's not getting transferred to the next stage. Okay, so we'll just let this go. And in the meantime, I'm going to take the barrel and I'm going to go clean it up really well so there's no traces of the previous grit in it when we move forward. Okay, the rocks have had their 45 minutes. This is off. Put them back in this now very clean barrel. And I've also cleaned the media. I have very, very, very thoroughly rinsed the media off. And since this media is not really porous, I find that that's probably good enough. The media doesn't really pick up any grit and hold on to it if I very thoroughly rinse it. The media is breaking down. I will probably have to add some more before we get to the polishing stage, but that's okay. I buy it in bulk. Okay. All right, let's put some water in. I'll make a little hole there so I can see what the actual level is. I don't want it too high. Right about there is good. All right, so let me get some 400 grit, and we'll get it in there, and we'll get this spinning again. Okay, 400 grit. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 4.5 pound tumbler, so I like to put about as many teaspoons in as the capacity of the tumbler. So I'm going to lid this up, and we'll get it spinning again, and I'm going to let it go for 2 weeks before I even think about having a look inside. I find that that's a pretty good period of time for the 400 grit pre-polish. And I need to relabel this. It's no longer 220 and it's no longer 7.5. I'll get my grease pencil and I'll mark it with the fact that it has pre-polish in it and the correct date, and we'll get it spinning again. All right, there we go. It's spinning again. See you in 2 weeks, and we'll do it all over again. Okay, it's been about 2 weeks. We're going to do it again. Wash, rinse, repeat. Take this off, dump it out, rinse it off, give the rocks an ultrasonic cleaning, maybe take a quick look at them, and then get them back in here. I'll clean the drum really well, get them back in here with some polish, and leave them in polish for a couple of weeks. I think they'll be really pretty then. So let me get started. Alrighty, after a couple weeks in pre-polish, Cheryl's rocks are looking really, really good. Wow. Nice. Alright, so just like after every other stage, I'm going to give them a nice ultrasonic treatment. Get them good and clean. Clean the barrel out really good. Clean the media really good. Get everything back in the barrel with cerium oxide polish. And we'll let these roll for a couple weeks in that. The next time we see them, they should be done. So you've seen me do all this other stuff enough times before. So I'm just going to get back to work here on this, and the next time you see them, they'll be done. Alrighty, today is finally the day. Cheryl's rocks in this tumbler are done. They have been in polish, cerium oxide polish, now for about 3 weeks. Left them in there for a little while longer than I normally do. Peeked at them a week ago. Some of the rocks were really, really nice. Other rocks looked like they could go a little while longer. So I let them go another week. So should be ready, hopefully. So I'm going to do my usual thing. I'm going to dump this tumbler out, rinse the rocks off really well. give them an ultrasonic cleaning. Maybe we'll take a quick pick. Maybe we'll take a quick peek at them between by cleaning them off and the ultrasonic. And then we'll look at them in the studio under good lighting after they're all dried out and see just how nice they turned out. I'll bet they'll be pretty. Okay, let me get to work, get started on this. Alrighty, well, as promised, here's a little sneak peek at Cheryl's banded Chert she sent me. After finish, now it's still wet. We'll see what it looks like when it's all cleaned up and dry. And there's some other stuff in here too. Look at this red tiger's eye. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Yeah, banded Chert. I know there's some other stuff in here too. Ah, yeah, there's some crazy lace agate. So yeah, all right. So as per usual, I'm going to get this stuff into the ultrasonic cleaner, give it a good cleaning, then we'll dry it off and take a look at it under the studio lights. All right, finally the moment has come. Let's have a look at these rocks I got from Cheryl. Wow, look at that. Look at the patterns in that banded Chert. That's crazy. It almost looks like something organic. Look at that. This one took a pretty good polish. What I noticed on these is that some took a really exceptional polish and some only took an okay polish. And I'm putting that down to slight differences in hardness on the different rocks. Harder is always better for polishing. Your harder rocks are always going to take the better polish, that's for sure. But some of these, well, that one's got a line of pits all around it there, so that wasn't going to polish. But the rest of it's okay. But some of these have really exceptional polishes. This one is really nice. And the pattern is amazing too. Look at that. Wow. That's cool. That's really cool. What I was saying about harder stuff, where is it? Here it is. This piece of crazy lace agate that was included. I mean, that's got a really nice polish on it. But this is probably the hardest rock in here. So that took a really good polish. Let's see. The red tiger eye. You can see the chatoyancy in it really well. It's got really amazing chatoyancy in it. But I can tell this is not a very hard rock. The polish is actually only okay. And on the sharper edges, it's all beat up. So yeah, this is probably one of the softer rocks in here. But even so, it got an okay polish almost everywhere. That's totally amazing right there. I hope that's coming through on the video. That's crazy cool, that chatoyancy. Let's see, there's a piece of Jasper over here. We did okay on the Jasper too, so it's pretty hard Jasper. You know, it's got some cracks and fissures in it, but really, again, short of tumbling the rock away to almost nothing, there's no way to get rid of them. In fact, I think if I had kept it in rough for a while longer, it would have broken up, given the depth of the fissures. They kind of go through the whole rock. So, did the best we could with it, but still, it's a pretty rock on the sides that took a nice polish. Nice colors, nice patterns. And then where is it? For here. Cheryl, I think this is a prairie agate you gave me. I don't think this is banded Chert. I think this is a prairie agate. And again, being agate, we've got a really nice polish on it. It took a really mirror polish on it, as well as being very colorful and having cool patterns in it. See what else have we got here. Another nice one. Look at the patterns. Holy cow. Where did you say you got this stuff, Cheryl? Was it Alabama, Arkansas? Leave a comment. Let me and all the viewers of this video know where you got this amazing banded Chert, because it is really, really cool. That's sort of black, white, and gray. Very cool. Very cool. That's a nice pattern. That almost looks like petrified wood, but it's not. It's banded chert. That's just really cool. Like the colors, like the patterns. Very nice. This is a busy little rock. There's a lot going on in it. Holy cow. Yeah, that's very neat. Very, very neat. This is one that broke, but I kept it tumbling until it smoothed out again, and then ran it through the rest of the stages. I'm glad I did. It's a pretty rock. Yeah, that's another one. A lot of bands in it. Another busy little rock there. Look at that. Holy moly. Look at the patterns up there. It is a busy little rock. Yep. Yeah, it's got a decent polish on it. What's this back here? Ah, yes. Look at this. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Well, Cheryl, thank you very much for sending me these rocks. They turned out to be absolutely gorgeous. Oh, here's another one. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. And I really appreciate it. And I'm very, very happy with how they tumbled up. And if you guys are happy with how these rocks went, how this video went, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to see my future videos. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching this one. Bye.